Well, hello, farming fans. Welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sims. My name is Jerry. Thank you so much for returning for another video here on Goldcrest Valley. Glad to have you back here. This is a brand new day. It's just after 7 o'clock in the morning, and our day, we need to get started. We have a lot to do today in a very short time to get it all done. As you can see, we are hooked up here to our stock trailer, and we're going to go and buy some sheep. Yep, that is right. We're going to go and buy some sheep this morning. Figure we'll go ahead and get all of our animals set up, and yeah, that way we're fully in the animal business at this point. And we're going to go down. Mary gave us a call yesterday afternoon and told us that she would have some fine sheep for us available first thing this morning. So we're going to go down and see what kind of a deal that she can make us on some sheep. Finished out the fourth day with some contracting with some of the local farmers, really digging in and trying to help them out as best as I possibly can. Um, one of the promises that I made Mr. Richards when we picked up this farm from him was that um, I would keep his hands busy, and that's what we've been doing. Billy Bob, Jim Bob, and Stan have been busy. They'll report to work sometime around 8:30 or so today. And yeah, today is the day before the election, and I'm hoping that they can concentrate on the work that they have to do. And I'm thinking about just giving them the day off tomorrow, election day. Let them go and perform their civic duty and get all that out of the system and everything. I did ask Mary about Shawnee B, her nephew, and he has also been quite busy doing a little gold prospecting as well, and I believe he's done quite well for himself. She had indicated that he also found 100 gold nuggets, and that's, as you know, that's worth quite a bit of money. And so I think he's pretty much going to be set for his farming adventures. All right, that should do it. We'll pull up our animal dialogue here, and we're going to do sheep. And let's see, we can get 10 sheep. Let's go ahead and buy 10 sheep. Might as well. That way we are good in the wool business. And we can do that. Let's just open the cover, make sure they're all in there. Yep. And close the cover, and we're off. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate it. Yeah, Mary's also going to look out for us some more dairy cattle and maybe some more pigs as well. But definitely dairy cows. Our milk production is not quite there, and so we really need to get a few more dairy cows and get that up, make it worth our while. If we're going to do this, we might as well go large or go home, I think is what they say. Is that correct? We'll just get back in our cab here. Still got Track IR working. That's quite the treat. Certainly makes the first person driving a lot more immersive and honestly a lot easier as well. So doing a lot more research with that, I told you a few episodes ago that I had been in touch with the local extension agent with the county here, and sort of his job is to help us farmers out, better understand um, some of the different regulations and rules and what have you, and also help us out with any sort of questions that we might have regarding farming in this part of the country. This is all new to us. We moved here from from Paradise Hills, and you know, things are a little different there than they are here. But you know, the county, this area, this region, they're really pushing farmers to go green as much as possible. And of course, we're getting there with having livestock, with having pigs, with having dairy cows. Um, Let me just check because I'm actually not sure if in this version if we get um, yeah, so we don't get any manure or liquid manure from sheep, okay? But we've got pigs and we've got cows, and we get both from those guys. So let me see. Let me see. I think I need to turn here. I'm still, you know, still learning my way around. This is, even though we've been here in Goldcrest Valley for some time, it's still quite new. We'll just go here, and I think we take a right up here. But anyway, that county extension agent has been helping me understand some of the benefits of green farming, and he's going to come down and give a lecture to myself and Billy Bob, Stan, and Jim Bob in the next couple of days. So we are actually, it's going to be a little while before we can go fully green, and that, of course, would mean zero chemical or artificial fertilizers, liquid fertilizers, or granular fertilizers. So it's going to be a little while before we can do that. We need to get a few more pigs and many more cows, and of course we've only had our cows for a day now. And let's see. Let's just jump out here. I think our sheep go here, but we'll go up to this question mark and get rid of it. Wool pallets go right there. All right. Well, you know, we've been a bit spoiled to Stevie's maps and his wool pallet auto cells and all that kind of stuff. We'll obviously have to do our own pallet management, but we can certainly do that. And we're going to unload all 10 sheep right here because, well, this is the only place we have to store them. So confirm, and they are here. And there they are. Excellent, excellent stuff. All right, well, I see that Stan did what he said he was going to do. I asked Stan to bring our forage wagon up here, and you might be wondering, well, where the heck did that come from? We had to buy a forage wagon because I completely forgot that, oops, there we go, completely forgot that cows needed grass. So we were working hard to get those dairy cows going, get them 100% productive and all that good stuff. We had straw bales, we had hay bales, and we had all the stuff to make total mix rations, or power food as they sort of call it here in this version. And F1 because I've already forgotten. All right, so they only need that much, and that's all that we'll give them. So let's, oops, wrong button, sorry. We'll leave the animal hauler down here for right now, and we are going to take this back to the main farm. We're not too far away. So anyway, completely forgot, just spaced it completely. Had to get a drink of my iced tea there. Completely forgot about the grass element. And of course, we didn't have any grass, and so I went back to the main farm, picked up just the front mower, and then we bought this forage wagon, and we managed to cut enough grass along the side of the field there around by the cow barn cow facility, the dairy farm, and managed to get what we needed for the dairy cows to get them up to 100%, and then obviously had this much left over, and so yeah, we had to do just a little bit of ad hoc work there just to get things going. But we got our cows up to 100%. Of course, this is a brand new day. We do have to do our standard cleanliness chores, and we'll certainly get that. Now, you might be wondering, where the heck did that hay barn come from? Well, this is the placeable mod for the hayloft, and I don't know if this thing will take grass or not. Let's just see if it takes grass. Grass is not accepted here. Okay, well, it doesn't take grass. That's all right. That is rather interesting. It's a shame that it doesn't take grass, because that would be. Now I wonder, can you bell grass? I believe the answer to that question is actually yes, you can bell grass, but I wonder, if you bell grass, will it stay as grass? Does anyone know? Let me know in the comments if you think, if you bell grass, if it will stay grass. All right, I'm really thirsty tonight. Must have had something for dinner tonight that had a lot of salt. I don't eat a lot of salt. Never have really been someone that puts salt on their food. I typically I may season something that I'm cooking with just a little bit of salt, or with some seasoned salt or something like that. But I'm really not one to actually. Whoever parked that train there could have done a better job. I'm not really a person to, break out the salt shaker and sprinkle salt on my food. And so, sort of as a result, if I do end up eating something that is really salty, well, I can really tell it, because I will just get parched really, really quick. So just while we're sort of off theme here, I made one more change to the video production stuff that hopefully you have noticed. So thanks to Rubber Burner, he had brought to my attention that he liked the videos, and he liked the fact that I was doing some additional music type work, doing some of the fast forward scenes and putting in some music. And but he mentioned that music was quite loud, and it was potentially going to get him in trouble with his neighbors. Well, I don't want anyone to get in trouble with their neighbors, and one time I may have subscribed to the theory that if it's too loud, you're too old. But something, gosh, I'm at 50 years old. I'm starting to, although I still jam out in my car every now and then. I love some of the 80s rock bands and stuff like that. I've always enjoyed that genre of music. But in any event, he had just brought to my attention that the music beds were just a little bit hot, just a little bit loud. And so I managed to upgrade my video editing software, and sort of took a few minutes and better understood the functionality of normalizing the audio, so I can normalize everything the across the audio track and make everything about equal. So I think starting at episode 4, which released on Wednesday of last week, that would have been Wednesday the 2nd of November, and then episode 5, which was on Friday, you should be noticing a difference. So, and my apologies for not catching that. I do watch my videos. Um, we're gonna tab over just sort of quickly to our pickup truck, and I do watch my videos, and obviously I listen to what I say and the music and stuff like that, and I think that quite possibly, I mean, I'm not going to say that I didn't notice that it was a bit louder, but I also didn't, I don't have my speakers turned up too loud. To be quite honest, I typically, when I'm editing and everything, after I edit and I upload to YouTube, I sort of screen it, and but again, I didn't have my speakers up too loud, and I noticed it was a little louder, the music tracks, but anyway, should be better now. And my apologies for anyone that may have had their eardrums blown out, especially if you were listening to me on a headset, or if your neighbors got onto you for playing loud music. Speed limit 35. You're going 20, dude. Well, we'll just take our little shortcut here. Now, something else you may have also noticed is I have dropped to a 3-day-a-week release schedule, and that's for a couple of different reasons. First reason is because I'm not recording every single thing that I do in the gameplay. Typically, each game day in the game, I'm releasing about 3 videos. But I'm doing a lot of mission work just to kind of earn back some of the money that we're spending on things, equipment, and soon to be fields. And so, doing a little bit of work there. I'm gonna just park in our silage clamp here because I can. And the other thing is that, eventually I will return to other games like ATS and ETS2 and Flight Sim and all that good stuff. And so yeah, here's something I noticed. Let me get away from this building here. Is I dumped some grass in here because I needed to do something or test something, and I basically can't get that up. So we'll try it once I move those hay bales out of the way. May try it again, but yeah, it seems to be kind of stuck there. But I know that there are issues. There seems to be some bugs with once you dump chaff in the silage clamp, that you're unable to get that out. I think there's a fix that's posted for that on the Farm Sim forums. Just doing our little cleanup chores here. Got to do this to keep their productivity up. Cows, their reproduction cycle, or I need to get out of cab for this for a moment. their reproduction cycle is a little bit longer than pigs. I think we've already had one or two pigs born since we got in the pig business. I can check here in just a moment. Let me just take a few minutes and promote PCSG. I know I've talked about that quite a bit, and I really encourage you, if you're looking for a online forum, a community that can help you with, kind of all things simulation-based gaming. As I talk and I can't drive while I talk and drive at the same time, definitely check that out. You'll find the link to PCSG in my show notes down below the video screen, and give that a try. Go over and set up an account, and you'll be on in no time at all. All right, so I think that's just about done that. Let's just check our page here, our productivity page. Cleanliness will come up here momentarily. Yeah, actually, we've had two pigs. We've had two pigs born since we got in the pig business. We started with 9, now we have 11, and we've got a new pig coming up in 45 hours. So, and maybe a little bit faster, because we are going to head over there now and going to take care of that. But what we're going to do is we're going to, I believe I can get in there and grab this water wagon. Take the water wagon with us, and that way we can go swing by and give the sheep some water. That will bring them up to where they need to be, and then we can head over and clean the pig pen. And you know, these are just tasks that, well, they have to be done every day, maybe even multiple times a day. And don't worry, I'll try not to waste precious video time covering that process, but you know, it is something that needs to be done as I seriously run that red light. Sorry about that. Turn our beacons on since we're driving awfully recklessly. There was a discussion in the farming sim community forums, this is Giants forums, about sort of a request that was made from, I suppose, the user community, about the fact that maybe Giants should change some of the guidelines or the function behind the whole cleanliness factor, because when your cleanliness drops below 100%, it really seriously impedes on the animal productivity, and it's you almost need to, as a result, you almost need to have a tractor and have somebody, well, since AI can't do it, it would be us, ourselves. You almost have to have somebody cleaning up after the animals almost constantly, because while our cleanliness here has jumped up to 100%, that only took just a couple of minutes to register. And I think there must be a glitch here. Again, maybe if others who are playing 17, do you ever see anything higher than 99%? I only see 99%. That's as high as the productivity for cows that I've ever noticed. And I've got all the food elements provided and I've got a cleanliness of 100% after we just clean that. So um, let me know. Let me know if you see anything over 100. But anyway, the folks on the Giants forums were, basically saying that perhaps Giants should change that just a little bit so that it doesn't affect the productivity. It doesn't affect the productivity as hard as it does, because we'll just kind of keep an eye on that. We're at about 30 minutes into the video, into the recording, and probably about 2 or 3, 4 minutes away from just having cleaned the the dairy cows, and so we'll see how that affects us once we get a little bit further into the video. I get that it is a task that needs to be done. I fully agree to that, and I like it. I like the fact that you're a little bit, that you're penalized if you don't do it. But at the same time, I think it affects the productivity rate just a little bit too quick. I'm actually forgetting about that front loader sticking out there. Perhaps if you don't, because food, when you fill up the animal's food and water, that lasts for 6 days. So I don't think it would be, I certainly don't think that it would be too big of a task to ask everyone to basically clean once a day, once every 24 hours. So certainly not let it go 6 days, but I think once every 24 hours, if you don't do that, then the cleanliness affects the productivity rate. I don't know. I could just be talking gibberish as far as I know. Alright, well here we are at our pig facility. And I think while I have this water wagon connected, we will drive around and see, just top them up on water. Might as well. Probably haven't used much, but okay. And we'll drop the water wagon there. We don't need our beacons on here, and we will go clean the pigs. And some others suggested that, maybe this would be good functionality to be able to actually do something by hand as I'm stuck. All right, come on, Giants. There you go. Where did that go? That stuff really didn't. I guess it went back inside the trough there when my tractor was balancing on its front axle. But yeah, someone had suggested that maybe they give, since we now can do things with our hands, that maybe they provide the functionality where you can maybe pick up some, like a shovel, for example, a corn scoop, and basically sort of do that by hand, because that would be something that, you would probably, unless it was just a mass amount of material, it would certainly be something that you'd probably just stop by and pull a shovel out and knock that out really quick. Again, maybe I'm just talking gibberish. Let's just have a look at cleanliness here. So we're still at 43, but that'll come up. And we're looking good on our sheep. All is good. All is good in the land of Goldcrest Valley. Now that we haven't hurt for money since we found all of the gold nuggets. We have quite a large amount of crops in our silo, and so some of the things that we're going to be doing today during this game day, probably not during this video, but during this game day, so over probably the next two videos, is we are probably going to buy a new field, and we're also probably going to buy a few new pieces of equipment. We're going to go ahead and refill this water tanker. One of the things that I think that we're probably at a point that we need to consider is setting up probably one of the one of our other smaller tractors, setting it up with a front loader, and leaving it here at the main farm, so it can do work at both what we need to do here at the main farm as far as pallet work, and also it can do work at the pig farm as well as the sheep farm, since they're relatively close together, and then leave one of these guys over at the dairy farm. So let's see, where did I drop? Yeah, I dropped the right thing, because I've got that weight on the back of it. I sometimes forget. So let's just see if the productivity changed. Okay, hasn't yet. And we also will probably buy a new tractor. I talked to the shop, and they have found a nice John Deere, actually. It's a first modded John Deere tractor. Oops, sorry about that. The first modded John Deere tractor that's come out, and it's getting really rave reviews, and it appears to be a really nice mod, and so we may check that out. And I think also we will probably may upgrade our tipper as well, because one of the things that I'm sort of thinking is that probably the first field that we're probably going to buy will probably be, and I know I'm saying the word probably a lot, but probably 24 or 23. 23 was our test field, meaning that in one of the first episodes I talked about the fact that the original asking price of field 23 was $142,000, and once we got our reputation up with the owner of field 23, that price has dropped to $121,000. So that's probably going to be the first field that we buy, and that's currently planted in sunflowers. So we've got that'll give us cause to to pick up a new header. I think we've got it. Don't we have to get a new header for that? Let's see, headers. Um, yeah, we've got to get a. We won't get that small one. We'll get something a little bigger. Well, we'll have to see what works with that. Probably get this guy here if it works, so we can also do corn. But corn, actually, having said that, we will probably, whenever we do plant corn, we will probably do that and cut that as chaff, so that we can fill up that silage clamp over at the dairy farm. And then, depending on what is the best scenario for dealing with our grass situation, I had hoped that we could put grass in the hay barn. I was hoping it would handle hay, straw, and grass, but it only seems to want to handle straw and hay. If we bale grass, and if it will stay grass, then we may do that for sheep and cows. So maybe that forage wagon wasn't such a good idea. But you know, hey, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I do like to bale. I like to bale, you know, hay and straw and whatever. And but obviously, from a silage perspective, I think that once we really get rolling in the dairy farm business, we're going to want to produce our silage in the silage clamp with corn chaff. And so obviously our long range plan would be to actually buy to buy the field over by the dairy farm. But that field has a pretty hefty price tag to it. And at this particular point in time, while we could afford to buy it right now because we do have almost $720,000, plus we have the ability to borrow what, $2,000 or $200,000, something like that. So we can almost borrow, or we almost can produce almost $1 million. I think that would be foolish to do that at that particular point in time, especially when I know that the price of that field will actually come down quite a bit more once we build our reputation up with that particular farmer. All right, so we'll leave this guy here because the cows will need to be mucked out later. Yeah, so let's just take. Well, this field is already planted in corn, so that would be a benefit. But let's just take a look and see how much it costs. Yeah, 200. Well, it's not. It's only 219,000, considering that field number 23 is 121,000, and this one is quite a bit bigger. Um, Actually, that's, which field is that? Oh, that's that field. This is the field that we're looking for, 27. Yeah, this thing's going to be more than that. Yeah, 334,000. But see, my reputation's only about 50% with Mr. Gomez, so the more work that I do for him, the cheaper that this field will come down. But what I'm thinking is that we pick up field 23 and harvest the sunflowers off of it, and then maybe turn around and plant that in corn, and then cut that as chaff and transport that down to the farm bunker, and that should last for quite a while. I mean, we're going to pace ourselves with the animals, especially with the dairy cows, although probably we'll make another run for 9 or 10 more of those guys here pretty soon, in the next day or in the next episode or two, just to bring those numbers up. I think Mary's going to have us some pretty decent, cows coming soon. So yeah, we got to tab back to our pickup truck, and let's head back to the farm and call this episode an episode. Oh, by the way, I did buy a pressure washer. So I thought that since we're making so many improvements with our videos and everything, getting the audio all nice and even, and doing better with our episodes and all of that kind of stuff, that I will make sure that you guys at least have a clean windshield to look through. I think that's perhaps the main advantage that I thought that we would benefit from a pressure washer. I'm sure the speed limit's probably about 35 through here, but or 50, okay. Well, I will just start wrapping things up here and just say that I really appreciate you stopping by and watching another episode here on Goldcrest Valley with me. It's always a joy to make these for you, and I'm going to spend a bit of time doing some work for some other farmers, and then I will bring us all back together again on this same day, and probably going to get Billy Bob and Stan doing some planting and such on our fields, because right now our fields are setting somewhat unproductive. They have been cultivated, but they need to be we need to get seeds in the ground. So let's wash this old beast up. At least get the windshield clean for you guys to look out of. Alright, we'll move our truck over here and park it in our garage. That way we can just easy access into our office there, our farm office. And thank you again for watching. I appreciate that. Be sure to check out PCSG, and also check out some of the other YouTubers that I have listed in my suggested feeds there. Shawnee B, Reefy1952, Eustace Farmer, all those guys. Good quality content that they're putting out on FarmSim 17 and 15, and check them out and like their videos and subscribe to their channels, and tell them you heard about them on Grizzly Bear Sims. And I'll see you all next time. I appreciate you stopping by, and this is kind of a short episode, but just some tasks that we needed to do. And yeah, so thanks a lot. I'm gonna go and say hello to the wife and see what's going on, and probably go out and take care of the chickens and do some work for some other farmers, and we'll return with another episode real soon. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.